Hello beautiful people, welcome to yet another episode of So This Happened, where we get to bring back some of the juicy stories that made the news recently. Of course, my name is Moyeluwa Olajide, your host. And now that you've heard that we have something juicy for you, you might want to sit back and let's dive right in. Alright, so November 11 was a day set aside to celebrate singles all over the world. A moment to celebrate independence, self-love, and honestly, the peace that comes with being on your own. Sometimes it's better to take your time than rush into a relationship where you're not even aligned with the person. Of course, marriage is a beautiful thing. Marriage isn't just about finding someone to share your best with. It's about finding someone you can share your life and everything with without fear or regret. Now, speaking of regret, that brings us to our first story. And it's a truly tragic one from Ogun State. The police have detained a man called Olubunmi Johnson for allegedly setting his wife, Kikelomo, on fire. This horrifying incident reportedly took place in the apartment on Fabiyi Street, Ilogbo, Ota, around 8:30 p.m. on Friday. According to eyewitnesses, it all started with a domestic dispute that quickly spiraled out of control. The details of what exactly triggered this are still unclear, but neighbors who saw what happened alerted Kikelomo's family, who wasted no time in involving the police. The Ogun State police spokesperson Omolola Odutola confirmed that the officers acted swiftly, arresting Johnson on the spot. Apparently, the suspect has doused his wife in petrol before setting her ablaze. Just imagine. Now, the neighbors quickly rushed out to the hospital, but the damage has already been done. She already got burned so bad and is still being under investigation. And this case is being treated as a case under attempted murder, with Johnson now behind bars as detectives dig deeper. But this honestly is not just the only incident that happened recently. Just last month, we heard about another case in Lagos, where a man allegedly stabbed his newly wedded wife multiple times. He locked her in a room and set it on fire after an argument. Now let me ask you guys, what could these women have done differently to prevent such unfortunate occurrences? Or what should the society do to protect our women and make them live a better life around men? Really? Well, let's discuss this in the comment section. And moving on quickly to the second story. Now, this one is quite concerning, especially given the current state of security in this country. The Defense Headquarters has just confirmed the emergence of a new terrorist group known as Lukarawas, operating in the northwestern regions of Nigeria. This revelation came straight from the Major General Edward Buba, who briefed journalists on Thursday last week during an update on military operations. Now, the origin of this new threat can be traced back to our neighbors in the Republic of Niger, particularly after the recent coup that disrupted long-standing military collaborations between the two countries. According to Buba, these terrorists saw an opportunity and began infiltrating areas in Sokoto and Kebbi State from Niger and even as far as Mali. Before the coup, joint border operations between Nigeria and Niger had kept such threats in check. But with the security towers now weakened, these terrorists slipped in through challenging terrains. Now, the locals in the northern regions initially believed these new arrivals had good intention and didn't notify the military or security agencies. But soon enough, it became clear that these so-called visitors were armed and had an agenda. The Defense Headquarters noted that the Lukarawas have since been spreading their ideology and exploiting ungoverned territories to hide, evade military detection, and intimidate locals. Despite this, our armed forces are not sitting idly, as Buba assured Nigerians that they have wrapped up intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, ISR operations to track down these insurgents and eliminate them. Reports from the Nigerian police in Sokoto confirmed that this group is active in several local government areas, including Gudu, Tangaza, Ilela, wielding sophisticated weapons and trying to impose their beliefs on innocent residents. Now, let's just hope that our troops can effectively curb this threat before it gains more ground. Now moving on to the last and final story for the day. Can you guys imagine? It's been months since the federal government announced an increase in the minimum wage from 30,000 naira to 70,000 naira. And that was way back in July. Yet we are here in November and many Nigerians are still waiting for that promise to come true. Like seriously, what is going on in this country now? People are hungry, food prices are skyrocketing, and instead of getting better, things keep getting worse. The cost of living is squeezing the life out of everyone, yet the approved wage increment remains a phantom dream. Now, the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) has had enough of all of this. They have issued an ultimatum to the state government to either implement the new minimum wage by December 1st or face an indefinite strike. Now, the NLC isn't just stopping there. They are also calling out fuel marketers for inflating fuel prices, and according to them, citizens are being exploited with artificial price hike that is draining wallets dry, all while the economy is pushing more and more people into poverty. And in a communique released after the National Executive Council meeting, the NLC didn't mince words. They accused the federal government of implementing anti-people policies and stressed that Nigerians are enduring severe economic hardship. In fact, I cannot but agree with them. And this is very, very correct. Abi, my people, what do you think? How can people survive when wages don't even match the cost of living now? Especially when those wages haven't even been implemented yet. Now, to be fair, over 20 states have announced their intention to start paying the new wage, with some even promising amounts higher than the mandated 70,000 naira. But there is still a lot of catching up to actually do. And the NLC has resolved to set up a national minimum wage implementation committee to monitor and ensure compliance, while also mobilizing workers to stand up for their rights. Now, come December, if states don't comply, it looks like we might have another wave of strikes. And you can't blame the workers, Times are hard and they're just fighting to keep their heads above water. And that will be all I have for you today on So This Happened. I will be more than glad to have your opinions in the comment sections. Also do well to like this video, share and follow Punch newspapers across all social media platforms. My name remains Moyoluwa Olajide. Bye-bye!